Welcome back to our dear viewers. Now, as promised, we are beginning our first interview segment this evening, joined by two ladies whom have just graduated from engineering recently. We have with us Engineer Lulwa Al-Anizi, who is a petroleum engineer, as well as Dr. Zainab Al-Hajaj, who is an assistant professor here in one of the private universities in Kuwait. Dr. Zainab, Engineer Lulwa, welcome to the studios of Hala, Kuwait.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us, of course. It's not your first time on the program, yes. But again, we're going to have a different conversation today. So, Dr. Zainab, let's start off with you, if you would introduce yourself to our viewers.
For sure. As you mentioned, I'm Dr. Zainab Al-Hajaj. I work as an assistant professor at Australian College of Kuwait in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I'm also a volunteer in the Kuwait Society of Engineers. And and that's where I met my colleague.
And your colleague, Engineer Lulwa, as well. Tell us about yourself,
yes,
please.
I'm a petroleum engineer. I graduated 3 years ago, and then I am working at the moment in water production in Al Doha, related to Ministry of Electricity and Water. And recently, I'm planning to join also the petroleum sector. I'm a volunteer in Kuwait Society of Engineering as well.
That's wonderful, and that the topic of your volunteering is what we're going to be discussing today, the Kuwait Society of Engineers.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Zainab, tell us about the society and about the workshops in specific that are being held there.
Sure. So, Kuwait Society of Engineers, it's set to actually recognize all the engineers, certify them, and give them a membership. Kuwait Society of Engineers also held a workshop. Not a lot of people knows that we really hold some beneficial workshop that take in various fields, such as mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil, different
all types of engineering. Could you say that?
Yes, as much as we cover in Kuwait. And these workshops, some of them are free of charge, and some of them are really very reasonable prices. I would also like to take advantage that this is a platform to tell people, please check out what we have in a workshop. They're really good and beneficial for you.
Of course, and people can stay up to date with the workshops that are being held by the society. I'm sure you have accounts on social media, and I'm also been told of an event that was just held yesterday. If you could tell us about that as well, Dr. Zainab.
For sure. So yesterday we took advantage of the significant date, which is 2/2/2020. We held a day for women. This day was held, all volunteer work, women work toward it, and it's a non-profit work. The point or the objective of this event was to highlight the achievement of women in the society, not only locally like in Kuwait, but also in the Arab countries. Not only highlighting their accomplishment in engineering field, but also in the research, leadership, politics, and other sectors. It's also a platform to actually demonstrate and highlight what the women are achieving. To promote them, support them, and tell them, hey, we already recognize your work, and we want them to do more. And also, like, to add more is like to tell people every woman can do more like them and can take them as an idol.
That is very well said, Dr. Zainab. Definitely a very important day to celebrate, focusing on women's achievements, not just in engineering, as you said. And Lulwa, this topic in particular is very special to you. If you would tell us about, in your opinion, what are the achievements that women here in Kuwait have had now compared to previous days?
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank Kuwait TV for hosting us. I would like to thank my family for support, and Kuwait Society of Engineers as well, and for all of the achievers out there. So basically, Kuwait Society of Engineers really cared about women's role, and basically they really cared to activate Women's Day, which was activated since 2015. We have so many achievers here, like the members of Kuwait Society of Engineers, Engineer Bashar Al-Awad, who ruled the World Federation of Engineering Organization, as well as Engineer Zainab Al-Qarashi, who was achiever as well. She was the vice president of International Federation. She was also a founder and president of the youth committee of engineers of International Federation. So all of these women out there deserve to be celebrated with relating to Kuwaiti Women Day and rewarded as well.
Of course, it's a very important recognition that needs to be given out to all the strong women around. And Engineer Lulwa, how do you think the event that was held yesterday? You were saying since 2015.
Yes.
Is this specific to the Kuwait Engineers Society?
Yes, they're trying to renew it annually since 2015 to remind all of the people that women should be remarkable, and they really deserve this encouraging campaign so they can work out more for development, awareness, and publish this effort in order to reach success.
Of course, and it's a statement not just in Kuwait, but also on a global level, seeing that these events are being held specifically by a group of women, such as yourselves as well. Now, Lulu, how do you find that these events add value to the individual woman? For example, you as well.
Yes, basically, as I said, these, let's say, these events do add a value by encouraging all the women there, even not only engineers or Kuwaiti women, but even for the first time, Kuwait Society of Engineers cared about hoisting women from Arabian countries as well as Gulf countries for volunteering and contribution, because this will help them to work even harder. Even the women who have fear, they will and they are willing to contribute, but this will encourage them to cut the fear and contribute, and make it even easier to contribute.
Right, there's this sense of motivation when women stand by each other. And Dr. Zainab, complementing these events were the workshops you were telling us about, and so tell us about those, and in specific if any of them even focus on women as well, and that's part of their objectives.
Right. So the workshop, we do a practical work for provide for engineers. So what we do is like a kind of workshop we have. We totally understand that engineers and future engineers, also like junior engineers, a lack of some practical skills. So like we fully understand they really equipped with a lot of academic knowledge, but there's still some practical knowledge or skills they needed. So the workshop actually helped them. The equipment and the tools needed in the market, so that they are really fully equipped with those tools for a workplace. Because a lot of people suffer that we apply, we don't have like the experience. So
that's a requirement often.
Right, and like they don't get the chance to get the experience. So what we're trying to help them is like, hey, these workshops for you to have the practical experience, so you could get it. You can also network and collaborate together and have it ready when you go to the workplace. We got that always, like what we study, it's not there. So these are for you, and if you need to come and join us, that will be really great.
Perfect. So in a way, you're saying that the objectives of these workshops and the Kuwait Society of Engineers in general is to really prepare individuals who are looking to become future engineers, giving them those practical skills and the opportunity to network. Would those be the core objectives?
We have many objectives in the Kuwait Society. It's a varieties of field, and we take like part of it. We have like a women group or committee. We have also, as in general, like a workshop. We have also seminar to show what's the recent research happening in the work. But that's part of it. We're discussing about like a workshop just to let some people like to highlight it. A lot of people don't know what we offer, and we're really very willing to provide the service for them. They have many objectives. They support women. They also recognize for any engineering degree. They're like umbrella that we go back to whenever we need help.
Perfect. And Dr. Zainab, can you give us some of the examples that have been discussed in these workshops, topics that you have covered in specific, not just the mechanical engineering, for example?
Sure. So those workshop goes in many fields, as I mentioned, mechanical, civil, and they go specifically for each field. So what I can recall, some topics about computational tools. We know some people graduated a long time ago and they're really not ready to kind of like design using some computational tools, so they prepare them. So we have a workshop like AutoCAD, SolidWorks, designing tools that need it. We also have a workshop for a non-business person, like a workshop for like management, business, accounting, provided for engineer, because we know they're going to work in a workplace that needs engineering skills plus business, so they could market the product. So we have those workshops there also. It varies, and they can always check out our account for any update for that.
There's a lot of variety.
Right.
I'm sure Dr. Zainab and Engineer Lulwa, you were telling us as well about the workshops or the events that are being held specifically focusing on women. And as you said, Dr. Zainab, these tie in with the workshops as well. So tell us, Engineer Lulwa, about the feedback that you have seen in society here as you've engaged with women more so, specifically with the event that was held just yesterday.
It was a wonderful event, actually. It gave me this vibe of urging me to work more, to give more, because all of the ladies out there, they're not only engineers or doctors or teachers, they're actually fighters and givers with nothing to have back. So all of them are willing or aiming to publish development and awareness, and this event, especially as I said, is to reward all of the successful achievers there, and to remind all of the ladies who want to contribute but they're embarrassed or they have fear, to cut all of the negativity thoughts and all of the fear, and
to overcome those.
Yes,
to get
overcome,
better. And Lulwa, you were telling us earlier how you were switching from one type of engineering and you were going to join petroleum engineering.
Actually, I was graduated as a petroleum engineer, but for the work sector. Actually, I wanted to go directly to the petroleum sector, but the chances were highlighting water production. I gained experience for about maybe, let's say, 8 months, and I recently got accepted in the petroleum sector. I'm willing to go there for my passion. I want to learn about reservoir drilling and to serve my country as well.
And it's a very important point you're mentioning now, because you were just saying how the event that was held yesterday is one that focuses on overcoming fears and finding your passion once again. And so you're a clear case study of how that was exemplified.
Yes, definitely, yes.
Perfect. Well, Dr. Zainab, tell us then, in your opinion, by being part of these events, by being part of the Kuwait Society of Engineers, have you noticed any impact in your life in specific, being part of this community?
Thank you so much. That's really a great question. So when I joined the Kuwait Society of Engineering very recently, and honestly, I didn't know if I was going to be able to contribute and stay with them. So it was like, I'm a full-time job and I work in private sector, so like a lot of work.
It's challenging.
So, I wasn't really sure if I can do it. So when I joined, honestly, I was totally amazed of how much Kuwaiti engineers, women, are contributing. It's honestly, they're doing a voluntary job. They have a family, they have a job, but they're doing it. So honestly, like everybody was asking me how you get motivated, and the way I get motivated is I see the women, how much they work for no charge, and I go like, I have to do as much as them, and I contribute. I really want to take this chance to regard our leader, Dr. Al-Hajaj, and her team, amazing team, if I can recall, Engineer Fatma Hayat, Engineer Salwa Baqir, Engineer Noor Al-Sbaqa. They are really amazing. They're really working like an army. It's amazing, like, and the way you see them work, it's all done by them. So there's no help with that, and collaborating together to make that successful event. We were even blessed to have one of our visitor, Her Highness Sheikh Dr. Saad Al-Sabah. So we were really, these all influenced me to give more to the society. We don't expect something, but we really have a potential. We can be an influencer for the other engineers.
Wonderful, very well said, Dr. Zainab. And just listening to you both, I could really sense this level of motivation and inspiration just being part of this group, and specifically given that you're a woman. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and all the best for
our
future
pleasure.
workshops and events.
Thank you.
So, dear viewers, with that, we have come to the end of our discussion with Engineer Lulu Al-Anizi, a petroleum engineer, as well as Dr. Zainab Al-Hajaj, an assistant professor here in Kuwait. We thank them for being part of this program, and all the best to them and the women involved, as well as all the members of the Kuwait Society of Engineers. Let's now head over to our next report for the evening on the 5th Cancer Awareness Gulf Week. From there, we'll be back here for more in the studios.